archaeology. Get out of there, Dan!
We're going live?
No.
Yes, we are.
No, we're totally not live. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the happy... Oh, my God. That's
The intro's still going.
Huh?
Oh, it's still going on my side.
I know. Well, welcome to You Call This Archaeology. I am the person who runs the Happy Archaeology Funtime channel.
I don't hear us at all in there.
Really?
Yep. Oh, there we are.
Yeah, see?
Oh, we're just so far behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is a level 7 Pokemon no player.
Shut up! Apparently I am, because and we sound good, so I'm gonna take this off now.
Yeah?
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I hate jumping on a bandwagon like this, but we went to, hold on, sorry about that, my chest sounds in the mic. So we went to this like outlet mall place here in Reno because I had to go to Best Buy and pick something up, and we had lunch there too this afternoon.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I didn't know, I never got into the Pokemon craze when it first came out for mobile. And my wife did, though. She picked it right up. She never she still doesn't really understand what to do with them. She just collecting them. So that's what she does.
Oh my God! Just like looters and collectors.
Pretty much. You call this archaeology? Yeah, nice job.
Yeah.
So anyway, she pretty much did that, and I just never did anything. But we were there, and I have not plugged into that whole scene, and I wasn't aware of the fact that there was some kind of special worldwide event going on today. And there was just everybody there was heads down because they were all doing their thing, because there's these Pokestops and things just literally everywhere at that freaking place, right?
And there's a bunch by your apartment.
Apparently, yeah, although we can't get any from our apartment because we looked. But anyway, so my wife just pulled hers back out for the first time in over a year, and I started looking at it, and I was like, all right, I'll download it and I'll try it out. So I was playing around with it. It's like most things. I probably, won't even pick it back up again by the end of the week.
Lies. I
know. Well, I'm going to a conference, so I'll completely forget about it here shortly.
Yeah.
But anyway, Carl joined us again. That's great. Carl always joins us. And then Josh McDonald, not even an archaeologist, has joined us. The California Highway Patrol is now listening in on us.
Neat. Oh, wait a second. Before I forget, that booth should have been out in the hallway.
Yeah, so we were at the conference this weekend, the Nevada Archaeological Association conference, and as is typical with that conference, they don't have a lot of space, and the basically, if you had a booth, and they don't really have exhibitors either, but I know the person who runs it, so I called him and said, hey, can I put a booth up? And he said yes, and it's inside the room there, which means you only have about 15 minutes at a break.
Yeah.
You really only have 5 minutes, because when there's a break, people want to do other stuff.
Yeah.
They want to go get a drink, go to the bathroom, look at the auction items and whatever, and we basically get screwed. That being said, I did talk to, even if we get one annual license out of it, it's worth it because I didn't pay anything to be there.
Really?
Yeah. So,
ooh.
Annual license would be really great, and it's pretty cheap actually with Wildnet.
Yeah.
And I talked to at least, I think, 3 people that represent companies in this town that are definitely on the digital train and are ready to go. So Josh is asking, when do you start talking about airplanes? Because he's also a licensed pilot.
Neat.
He does a lot of aerial stuff with his drone and with his plane. He's got cameras, I think it's GoPros, Josh can correct me, hanging off his plane. And he goes and does aerial photos of the Tesla factory and sells those to publications. And they get out, and so you can see, people like to see the progress on how that's moving forward. One of the last things I saw him share that I was aware of was showing how one of the big buildings is starting to get the solar panels across the roof. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Man, that is not a fun place to work.
That's what I've heard. I feel like it would be really cool to work at Tesla, but apparently it's not.
No.
So,
well, you don't see the line in the morning.
Yeah, I bet.
It's oh my God, just to get to the parking lot, you basically have to sit in traffic for God, I don't even know. I'm not having sat in that line, I don't know how long it actually takes, but it's such a long line. You probably have to add at least an hour to your commute.
Yeah.
And that's on top of the 12-hour day.
I'm sure of it. And
then leaving, the traffic leaving.
Yeah.
Wait. Yeah. Oh, thank God someone let these
Josh says he uses GoPros, so That's pretty cool. Ah, and Chuck Hutcherson joined too. Nice.
Oh, what's he gonna do though when GoPro finally goes bankrupt and out of business?
Well, they're not going to take all the cameras they have out there.
That's true.
And they last a long time too, so it should be okay.
True.
But anyway.
Oh man, hopefully, God, hopefully this isn't the week where I have to call in sick.
Yeah. And as I mentioned too, I'm going to the Northwest Anthropological Conference in Boise, leaving on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Might be doing some live broadcasting from there too, because I do have a booth. I won't be live broadcasting with Wildnet unless they give me credentials to their Facebook page, but which means they probably should do that. Then I can go do that. But either way, I know for a fact Bill White is going to be there from the Archaeology Podcast. It's kind of his jam. He's going to go to that, and he's also from Boise, so or lived there for a long time. I can't remember which one, but
I think he's definitely from Boise.
Yeah, I think you're right. And he did his dissertation research there too.
Oh yeah, on that neighborhood.
Yeah, totally. Like a historically black neighborhood up there or something. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So anyway, and maybe we can go walk around that neighborhood and do a live show from there.
Ooh.
And get him to talk about it. Oh, I just thought of that.
Yeah. Oh
That'd
my God.
Really fun.
You can get use out of that
out of the GoPro, not GoPro, the DJI Osmo Mobile. Yeah. Also, I know for a fact, or at least I got indicated by her messaging me the other day, Kristen Lopez, who's a host of the Women in Archaeology podcast. She lives in Portland, and I think she's also going to be there.
I guess is that a far drive?
It's not like super close from Portland, but there's a highway that pretty much goes right there. From Portland to Boise. It just goes right over the mountains, straight across Oregon. I think it's closer than me going. For me, it's like 7.5 hours.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. I think it's, and it's only 7.5 hours because the minute you get out of Nevada, up north of Winnemucca, the speed drops from 70 to 55.
Oh, but then as soon as you pass state line or whatever, or Goldfield.
No, that's going Goldfield's to the south. What do you mean?
Or when as soon as you cross into Idaho, like the speed limit goes back to 80 or whatever.
Right, sure. But you're in Oregon long enough to really slow you down. So.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh man, you should you don't have a front license plate, so you should watch it.
Yeah.
That's where they got me.
Yeah.
Well, because it's illegal for anyone out of state to not have a front license plate.
I know. Well, I'll just have to deal with it, I guess. So, anyway, doing that, and just to keep this is why we're recording on Sunday, by the way, or doing this show on Sunday, because I'm not going to be here on Wednesday, and don't really have time. Monday, I've got my Civil Air Patrol meeting, and Tuesday is just going to be a nightmare in the evening getting ready, because I'm leaving pretty early Wednesday morning. I need to be in Boise by like 1 p.m. so I can set up the booth, and then we've actually got a call. I think it's actually been moved to Thursday, but just in case, we do have a call. It was pretty cool. Power of podcasting, I'll tell you what. Yeah. I've been talking about Wildnet on the Archaeotech podcast.
Yeah.
Focused a whole show on it. Well, not a whole show, but part of a show on it. And had it as my App of the Day segment. I mention it all the time because it is one of the options out there for digital site recording. Yeah. So we're going to mention it frequently on that show. Yeah. As we mentioned, Codify a lot, and tap forms, and anything else we hear about. Been doing a lot of, not to go down too much of a rabbit hole, been doing some research on Survey 123, which is an ArcGIS application. Esri puts out a lot of their own apps for people to integrate with ArcGIS, and Survey 123 is basically a form creation tool that people are using. The only problem is, and this is where like things like Wildnet and Codify are different, is we're focusing on export too. Like, it's kind of easy to focus on input. Like, you can create forms. There's how many, type form, tap forms, there's like 700 apps out there where you can create a form and collect data in the field. But there's no apps out there that I'm aware of, except for Wildnet and Codify, where you can actually export actual, like, PDFs of forms, in addition to your raw data. So in most of those, it's just you can only export raw data. Like when I was using tap forms, it's raw data, and then I use like a 3-step process to turn that into a PDF. Yeah,
because it comes out as a spreadsheet.
A CSV file. Yeah, which you can put into a geodatabase. You can put into a Access database, a FileMaker database. I used it not only as archival information for site records. I would basically have a master, like when we did that El Centro project and then the big one in Ridgecrest. Yeah. I would take the daily like site records, which an entire site ends up being a single line on a spreadsheet. And then I would take those for the day, and then just copy them to the master. Cut them and copy them to the master.
Yeah.
So now I have archive records of my site records that are basically CSV files that I can do anything with.
Neat.
I don't have a lot of data. I mean, they take up like 300 sites takes up, a few kilobytes.
Ooh, but getting back to 123.
Yeah. So Survey 123 is basically just a data collection app.
Oh.
But the neat thing about it is if you do use Esri and you don't really need to concern yourself with export so much, if you're let's say you're constantly connected, if you happen to have service on your tablet or phone and you're using Survey 123, the data you're collecting is uploading in real time to your ArcGIS system back at the office.
Ooh.
So your GIS person could be watching sites and things get populated and data as you're collecting it.
That's really cool, actually.
It's pretty neat, I have to admit. But again...
But it's, that's like GIS, how these, I thought Wildnet was more about getting forms.
And it is.
Yeah.
It is. So Survey 123 is more about collecting data for a geodatabase.
Yeah.
And Wildnote is more about collecting archaeological site information and producing the necessary forms.
Yeah.
But also collecting data. There's no reason. It's just an extra step, really. And really, if they have an API, we might be able to just integrate and do the same thing as Survey 123.
Ooh.
That'll be down the road.
Yeah.
So I'm not even sure if that's a thing that they allow people to do. My initial guess is probably not, because they create all their own applications.
Yeah.
You look at Esri on the App Store, and they've got 15 or 20 different applications that do different things.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people use ArcGIS Collector, which I'm honestly not sure what the difference between Survey 123 is and Collector is. I think Collector is just a little more dumbed down version of Survey 123. It basically just is points and stuff, you know? I've seen people use Collector to record transect data, stuff like that, just keep it open while they're walking. But Survey 123, you can actually create forms with questions like, drop downs and checkboxes and type fill-in fields and stuff like that.
Oh my god, but that makes it sound, that makes it sound just like suddenly you need your data dictionary and, all that stuff. Just like when you're using,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a data dictionary is basically a list of questions that you formatted. So that's all, that's really all Survey 123 is. That's all really an input form is a complex data dictionary. So
interesting. And then you still need your license and everything.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. If you're not using Esri, then all these apps are useless.
Yeah.
I'm imagining they'll still export data that you could use. I think they would probably do that. But you would then have to do the mail merge into Word, or, bring it into an Access database or a FileMaker database where you can then roll that into a form, because you can do that too. But you've got to build all that. That's where, other companies like the one I'm working for come in and they do that work for you. So.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So yeah. So that's how do we get talking about that?
I forget. But one of these days, God, one of these days I know it's possible to hook up a tablet and stream it to Facebook.
Yeah.
So one of these days we could probably demo it.
Yeah, we probably could. Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I know we were talking about that.
Yeah.
The reach of the podcast network. Yeah. So somebody contacted Wildnote and signed up for a free trial, and basically sent us a note and said, hey, I found out about Wildnote from listening to Chris Webster on the Archaeotech podcast, and they're in Australia.
Neat.
So we've got a call with them set up when I get to Boise. And I think we're going to demo probably on the call.
The only company I know down there is Cardno.
Yeah, it's an Australian company. So I don't know who it is. I'm not even sure we know the company name. I'd have to look back. It might just be the person. So, but yeah, otherwise that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So because it's not. None of these data collection apps are really restricted to the United States for any. No. It's just data collection. You can do that anywhere.
Oh my god! Partnership with Dig Ventures.
I know, right?
They totally don't sponsor this podcast, though.
They don't. I've talked to them about doing that before, but they're just so focused on what they're doing, especially with the field season kicking off, that they just don't have time to really think about that. So, plus, I'm not really sure they've really considered the power of podcast reach either. So, that's an uphill battle that we have, because people know about podcasts, but people in the field of archaeology don't generally understand the value of podcasts yet.
True. Which is weird, since we spend a lot of time driving.
Yeah, well, they understand the value of listening to podcasts, but when they go to look at their own the applicability to their own situation, it's the same with digital archaeology. People look at an iPad or your Amazon Fire tablet or anything like that, and they say, wow, that's really cool. I can do this, this, and this. And then you're like, well, why don't you do archaeology with it? No, I can't possibly do that.
Depressing.
I know. We're getting there, though. We're getting there. It's a slow process, but we're getting there.
Man, you know what I was reminded of at the meeting? I also remember talking, when I worked at the bookstore, I remember talking about how archaeologists are just like, a breed apart. And then one of my coworkers was like, nah, people are just people.
Yeah.
And then, but that person is wrong.
Well, there is some truth to that, though.
Sort of.
Like
yesterday, I was like, I saw someone, I wanted to network with them. And so I was using all the little small talk stuff I used to use at the counter. Nothing. Not even like a single reply, just like picked up the computer and walked away.
Nice.
I'm like, man.
Yeah. There you go.
It's like, God.
Yep. Hey, we've got Mark Silver in here now, too. Ooh. He's another one from the Civil Air Patrol.
And something just flew across the screen.
I know. I think he gave us a thumbs up.
Yay.
So that's great. Thanks, Mark. So, we could probably stand and move this camera down just a little bit.
We can.
I think it floated up a little bit because you're kind of in the thing here. Yeah.
Alrighty.
So we're gonna make a slight camera adjustment on this show because we don't have a camera person. So. All
right. How's it on that one?
There because of the delay. That's good right there. Now we can see the mixer. I like that.
You do or don't?
I do.
Oh, good. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that should be our reference point.
I know, pretty much. We could see more of it last time, but we kind of see the top end of it this time. Anyway, that's better.
Oh wait.
Yeah.
I'm not
so
with this anymore.
What else do we have? It's only been like 5 days since we did the last show, but
I know.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the conference? So you saw the NAA, which was here in Reno, is a short conference.
Yeah.
It's just like Friday afternoon and then all day Saturday.
Yeah.
And you came for the last half of Saturday and then the banquet and stuff like that. I'll tell you what, I was a little bit disappointed at the attendance.
Same
now,
here.
I know it's usually pretty small attendance at the NAA.
Yeah.
But I feel like Las Vegas last year had a pretty high attendance. I don't know what the numbers were. But yeah, people that we know probably should have been here.
Yeah.
Like that are in Reno physically.
Yeah.
Just weren't here. Like, what the hell's the problem?
Although it did remind me though that the conference itself isn't nearly as important, I feel, as the after events.
Well, sure, and the networking and going to lunch with people and doing different stuff, which is why I'm wondering why people weren't here, and it just goes to kind of really say something about Reno archaeology. It really is very isolating. These companies, they're all really close to each other, they all know each other, and yet, unless forced, they don't really seem to talk to each other.
That's true.
It's really crazy. Yeah, I'm assuming it's the same way in other towns, but
maybe.
Reno is pretty small. We're penned in by the valley and by the mountains on both sides, and maybe that's it. We feel too isolated because we know we're going to be competing against each other for contracts too.
True. Oh man, it was interesting using my bookstore skills to gauge people's interest. Like I'd walk up to someone, suddenly they get because sometimes at the bookstore, if they're familiar with the way we'd work. Mm-hmm. You'd see someone and they get the panic look in their eye as soon as you started walking in their direction because they knew you were going to come up and ask them, was there anything I can help you find today?
Right.
And so a few times yesterday I was walking around and I'd see someone familiar and they'd like, no! So
nice.
I'm probably not going to talk to that person.
Yeah. Ryan Scott joined, by the way. Thanks, Ryan. Nice to see you.
Neat. That's probably still super loud when I do that, isn't it?
Oh God, the mic's got a pretty good pickup. So, I would advise everybody just while Richie is, dealing with sinus issues. People are getting sick now. Go get your flu shot. Damn it.
Oh, I don't think it's the flu. I think it might be.
Well, just in general, people should just go do that.
True.
Yeah, I just heard of somebody, not to cut you off too much, but a friend, somebody that I kind of know on Facebook through another group I was in. I don't really know her that well.
Yeah.
She was saying she went to a memorial service for a friend.
Yeah.
And it was a friend whose first name I know that we both know. So I was like, well, shit, let me Facebook stalk her. Turns out it's not somebody I know that died.
Oh,
but this woman, 2.5 weeks ago, I looked at her Facebook page and she came down with what she thought was the flu. Turned out it was the flu, but then it spawned this kind of virus thing that jumped from organ to organ really fast, and she died in 2 weeks.
Oh my God!
She was 47.
I actually think of valley fever, although it shouldn't.
Well, yeah. So
valley fever is completely different.
I know. So,
ugh.
Anyway, so that's bad. So don't do that.
You know what we didn't talk about before, which we should have, considering we've just been to the California Archaeology meeting.
Mm-hmm.
How many people don't want to leave their home state, or even like, you know, a particular region of their home state.
Everyone. I feel like that's more prevalent than anything else. You know, I think that's what gets people out of archaeology is they don't, they like to travel initially because everybody's like, oh, I want to travel.
Yeah.
And then you do that for a few years and you're like, shit, I just want to be home, you know? So.
Yeah, but how many field techs have you ever met? Like, you know, here in Reno, you know, you talk to people like, oh, I've been on the Rex. I've been, you know, in the Southeast. I've been, you know, in the Midwest. And then you go to a place like Southern California or California and they're like, I've never left California.
Yeah, well, California is different because it's penned in by the ocean and by mountains on both sides. So people just tend to not leave there. Plus, it's a huge state.
That's true.
You know, if you try to go from California and then work in Arizona, you can't do that. Like, you can't just work in California and then work in Arizona. Arizona's a crazy place.
That too.
So, but you do know a lot of people who've worked in California and Nevada because there's less restrictions behind, you know, jumping back and forth between the two.
Well, I've met plenty of people here who worked in California, but I don't know a lot of people in California who are like, I always recommend working in Nevada because it's like the pay is higher, the per diem is higher, but then they're like, I'd rather just stay here.
Well, like, again, there's plenty of work there. So if they're out of work for months and months and there's a ton of stuff going on in Nevada, I'm sure they'd jump ship.
Yeah.
But there's just always work to do in California because of the laws. You know, you've got the regular NHPA and NEPA, but then you also have the California laws, and it's craziness. So there's tons of work.
Oh my God! You know, the craziest place that happened to me, though, where I saw that was Minnesota.
Yeah.
Like, I met people there who had never been out of state.
Yeah, well, that's the upper Midwest for you there. So, but it's a lot of parts of the country. I mean, people don't like to leave their support networks, you know, and their support networks are usually where they grew up.
True.
I know. Yeah. Especially in a fragile working environment like CRM archaeology. You know, if you are all of a sudden out of work for a few weeks and you're 2,000 miles from home and you're out of money, that's pretty nerve-wracking, you know. And Mark Silver's from the Midwest, and he's like, Midwest roots grow deep. True story, Mark. But you've been in Reno for a long time, so. But he does go back. He goes back to Ohio a lot. So.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that reminds me of Zach.
Yeah.
If you remember.
I do remember Zach.
Yeah. How he was from Ohio, but he always claimed he was from Kentucky because he was too ashamed to admit he was from Cleveland.
Oh my God. So he said Kentucky instead?
Yeah, he always said he was from Kentucky.
Oh,
but it's like, you grew up in Cleveland, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't just say you're from Kentucky because it's the other side of the river. Well, you can, but it's a lie.
Nice. Mark said he cut the roots. It's like a good archaeologist. We're always cutting roots. So, I want to bring up something real quick because I just walked into my office here. This must have been delivered Friday because I wasn't really in Friday, except for in the morning. But there's a book here, Victims of Ireland's Great Famine, The Bioarchaeology of Mass Burials at Kilkenny Union Workhouse by Johnny Geber. I think it's Geber, Geber. Geber?
Maybe.
Sounds like Geber. Anyway, there's the book. I don't know if you can see it.
You can if you held it up like slightly more steadily.
Yeah, let me put it on the.
Oh, perfect.
On the
there we go.
There. So anyway, the cool thing is, again, the reach of the podcast network. This is from University Press of Florida.
Yeah.
And I didn't ask for this. Like, you know, we've had a relationship with Oxford University Press and oh shoot, what's the other one? That other big one over in the UK. Oxford and Cambridge University Press. We've been working with those guys for a while now. We've on the Archaeology show, we've read several books. We've got 3 more coming up. There's a press, I don't even know what press it is, they just found us, but it's a book from an author down in Australia. We're reading that one right now.
Neat.
I think his interview's in April sometime. Barry Cunliffe, Sir Barry Cunliffe, the only knighted archaeologist I've ever talked to. We've had him on before, and he's got another edition of his book on ancient Celts, which I'm reading right now, which I didn't know anything about the Celts, really, aside from like common, you know, knowledge. Oh, Druids and Stonehenge. That's pretty much where my knowledge of them ends. And so this is a really good book. It's really informative for me. So we're interviewing him in a week and a half, I think. So I got to plow through that book. But anyway, somebody they sent it to the wrong person, the name that says Chris Smith on the envelope, but it says Archaeology Podcast Network and has the right address. So, but they just sent it. And it's weird too, because the books we've reviewed in the past so far and the ones we're doing now are usually new books. Yeah. So they've got to you know, they want to put it out there so people can see it. But this book was published in 2015. And it's really confusing to me because I have no contact information. I suppose I could find the author if I really needed to. Yeah, they just sent it to us. So we'll take a look. I'll read it. I mean, I have to read this. If I'm going to put this on the archaeology show, I've got to read this and then send it off to my my co-host, April, down in Phoenix, so she can read it. And or ask her if she wants to just pick up the ebook or something.
Oh, I was gonna say you should send that to her and say I had to send it over to them, and could you send me a key for an ebook?
Yeah, well, we've done that before, where we ask them, can we get 2 copies? So the nice thing is there's usually a budget for this in the publisher's, coffers. So I tell them right off the bat, I was like, yeah, we can probably interview your author, but send us the book first, and we'll make the determination. If you want the book back, that's fine, but they never do.
They don't?
No, I mean, it cost them, honestly, their cost on this is probably like $3 or $4. But then they sell it for $50. So, and the author makes $6. So, yeah,
like
it's a
total,
racket.
for like the whole press run?
Yeah, totally. I've made, and now my book was obviously smaller and cheaper. It's like $25.
Yeah.
And really quite a smaller audience, I'll admit that. But I think I've made a total of maybe $400 on it.
Ooh.
Yeah, maybe $400.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because I get 8% on a $25 sale, but I get 8% on whatever the sale was. So if it's on Amazon and Amazon drops the price to $20, I get 8% of that.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't get 8% of list.
Man, it's too bad you just can't sell it through Amazon's publishing arm.
Yeah, and Mark says, and it's printed on paper. Yeah, I know. Downsides of, there it is. I don't even know what this is. I don't know what this crazy, weird wood stuff is in a book here. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I don't own the rights to that book, so if I ever get the rights back to it, I'm actually going to have a conversation with a guy in town here who helps people get books published and things like that. Just to see about putting out a second edition, but I don't know what the legalities of that is either, because the new rights owner is actually Rutledge, which is owned by
those dudes.
Yeah, they're owned by that massive publishing company. What the hell's the name of that?
Well, the one I can think of is like them too, but and then there's Penguin, and then there's a few others.
Yeah, it's not one of those. It's I can't remember what it is. Anyway,
but this is like the perfect example of a book I would get on a Kindle.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Like the only books I actually get like physical copies of are like stuff that I might want to read again. Like, like fiction books basically, or science fiction books.
Right.
Stuff like that.
This seems like a textbook too, honestly. I mean, just skimming through it, there is a lot of jargon in here, a lot of references. The last 50 pages are references. There's sketches. There's
that's pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty heavy. Like, this isn't for the common person here to just pick up and read, you know what I mean? You got to have some knowledge, it sounds like. True. Which means I'm probably not going to understand half of it. I mean, I've taken bioarchaeology classes, but I'm not a bioarchaeologist, I mean, I'd probably remember some of this stuff, but a lot of it's probably going to go right over my head.
Oh, wait, so there's bioarchaeology. What's the other type of archaeology we couldn't figure out?
Osteoarchaeology.
Yeah.
So they both kind of deal with human remains. It makes me wonder if osteo, it really just refers to bones, but then bio refers to, I mean, what else would there be? I mean, sometimes there's other organic matter available, but I feel like bioarchaeology and osteoarchaeology are, hey Mark, we'll see you later, thanks.
Oh,
anyway, I feel like bio and osteo are kind of two sides of the same coin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, wait a second.
What do you got here? Wikipedia?
Yeah. Let's see. A discipline known in other countries as osteoarchaeology or paleosteology. So it is the same thing.
So you're reading the definition for bio and it says could be also osteo.
Yeah.
Nice. What does it say? Jane Boykstra?
Where?
Coined the term right there in the definition. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I remember
Let's see. First coined by British archaeologist Graham Clark, 1972.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Carl's saying osteo is a subset of bioarch, and I think we think that way here in this country. But according to this definition here, which I don't know, haven't really dug into the references here on Wikipedia, so I don't know, but it's saying that bioarchaeology is also known as osteoarchaeology in other countries. So it seems like whoever wrote this bioarch entry is probably from the UK.
Ooh. Oh,
just
and apparently it's a subset of zooarchaeology according to this.
I could see that, sort of. Yeah. So.
Human remains.
Anyway.
Oh, wait. Oh, it's redefined in 1977 in the U.S.
That makes sense.
Yeah. To refer to the scientific study of human remains from archaeological sites.
So then that's still bio.
Yeah. Wait.
Yeah.
Let's go. Oh my god. Wow. Google is so smart. Oh darn it, but there's no Wikipedia.
No, well, it would have been in the other page. It would have been linked to it.
Ha.
Yeah, osteology, right.
Oh.
So osteology, study of bones, human bones, but not necessarily limited to archaeology sites, probably.
That's true.
Yeah. Whereas bioarchaeology specifically ties it into an archaeological site.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. But you could have an osteo person that's, just has a heavy knowledge of, human anatomy from a bone structure standpoint and study those sorts of things, but not necessarily archaeological remains.
true.
Yeah.
My god.
At least that's what I'm picking up on it. Yeah, we had an osteo person on our site in Miami. We had a lot of human remains. One of the first, the second project I ever worked on. And she didn't do a lot of digging. She didn't do a lot of excavating. She was mostly there so we could bring bones to and say, what is this?
Really?
That's what she was there for.
Oh man, that's so cool.
Yeah, so that's Chuck here is saying BioArc deals with recognizing things like injuries, disease, and other things too. Yeah, I see that.
Ooh,
yep.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Totally.
Oh.
Okay, cool. Getting a little education here. That's good. Yeah. I never really thought about the difference between the two, honestly. I always kind of used them interchangeably. So,
I mean, the only one I ever had to worry about was like zoo archaeology and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Which I think because we're getting them into all of our sources here, we can probably announce. There's no start date, so I'll announce it anyway because what the hell. We have a zoo archaeology podcast starting up. Yeah.
Crazy.
I know. There's a lot of stuff that goes into putting together a new podcast that not only the APN has to do, but the hosts have to do as well. There's a lot of stuff that has to be done, and we're getting all that ramped up right now. And not only that, but training. The two ladies that are doing the podcast have never podcasted before, so we've got to educate them on, here's some best practices from an interviewing standpoint, and
will this be in association with any of the facilities they work for?
I don't think so. It's just them.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. Man, that'd be super cool.
I know. One of them is, she's actually an American, but she's at the University of, I can't remember. And I'm not sure if I want to say right now. I'll let her say that, just in case. Anyway, she's at a UK university. And the other one, her co-host, I think is in the Northeast somewhere of the United States. So they're actually both remote, but they know each other. And I think it's going to be called Archaeoanimals. Because they like that hashtag. So I think it's going to be called Archaeoanimals, and I think it's going to be great. So,
oh, man. Too bad you can't put lead the hashtag in the title.
There's no reason we can't. There's honestly no reason we can't. So, anyway, I think that's going to be really fun. I'm shooting for, I'd like to see it out by the, the 1st of May, give or take, whenever we decide the release date's going to be.
Oh, my God. It's depressing to think that April Fool's Day is almost here. At least
I know. It's right around the corner. It's in a week.
Damn it.
Yeah, it's a week from today, I think.
Damn it.
Actually. Yeah, so anyway, so that's really fun. There is another podcast kind of in the works, but not really along the same lines. It's a little further back just because the person who's doing it is actually got a new job now, so he's not really focusing on it anymore. Yeah, I think he's working on something. I don't know if it's temporary or long term, but anyway, we might be having an experimental archaeology podcast coming up.
Oh,
so.
God, that's cool too.
Yeah, that's cool. Actually, but if anybody has any ideas for podcasts and they can dedicate, honestly, just a couple hours a week to maybe doing some research, setting up interviews, and then recording.
But that'd be a cool YouTube channel.
Yeah, totally. It would be great.
Yeah. Although, man, I would not ever look at YouTube if you ever want to make money.
Yeah, well,
Ever.
Especially in this field, it's too niche.
Yeah. Like, I mean, obviously we were talking about this off air, but, Motor Trend pulled all their content off YouTube, and now they only upload trailers that take you to their app. Nice. But also Ben Hecht just left YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Wow. He's like, there's not really enough money into it, I might as well just go do my own thing. So he has. He literally left YouTube. Mm-hmm. Because, a lot of people are like, oh my God, this is such for the end user, for the people who are watching, it's awesome. But for the people who are actually doing the actual work,
it's not worth the investment.
No,
time.
At all. In any way, shape, or form.
Right.
Unless...
And you can't really put your own ads in, can you?
You can.
Can you?
Well, I mean, in the actual video.
Yeah. You can do, because it says, I think you have to get special permission for that because YouTube specifically says don't put in pre-roll, end-roll, or mid-roll ads.
I know.
Unless you have permission, basically from them. So.
And they never give permission.
Right. So you probably have to have hundreds of thousands of subscribers or more.
Yeah, and it's the reason why if you check on YouTube, like it's almost all video games and vlogs.
Yeah.
Because that requires zero investment.
Right.
So if you're ever wondering why have all the shows I used to like gone away, that's why.
Yeah.
It's because you kept skipping the ads.
Right. Does just out of curiosity, does OBS tell us how long we've been on?
Of course. Well, I mean, it'll tell you how long you from when you started streaming.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about.
39, 44, 45.
Oh, okay, cool. Wow, we started later than I thought because it's almost 7 o'clock.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Oh my God.
Anyway,
that's crazy.
Yeah, behind the scenes a little bit. We use OBS, Open Broadcast System Service.
Software.
Software. Okay, yeah, Open Broadcast Software.
Yeah.
Totally free. Should check it out if you want to do any streaming like this with these graphics and things like that Richie created.
Woohoo!
It's pretty cool. So, yeah. We need like a commercial graphic where we go to like advertise or something.
Oh, we could.
Yeah.
I mean, I could build one, but man, like, my God.
Yeah, I know.
It's like today I was just advertising. I just like applied for a few more jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And like was checking up on a lead with another one. They're like, oh, we just sent out an email saying, we just interviewed everyone we're going to interview and, thanks.
Mm-hmm. Right. Thanks for no thanks.
Yeah, because I said, well, we're totally going to be in touch with you.
Nice.
I'm like, fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll announce too in case anybody wants to pay for it. I think I'm going to sell my drone.
Are you?
Yeah, I've just really been thinking about it. That thing, it's great if you are going to use it a lot. It's a DJI Inspire Pro. It's in a massive case that you can actually take on an airplane. It's TSA certified, which is why the case is so huge. And leaves it, if you know anything about the Inspire series, the landing gear retracts, but when you put it in the DJI case, which is a total piece of junk, you have to put it in travel mode, so the landing gear is kind of in a midpoint. When it's flying, the landing gear is up like this, and when it's landing, the landing gear is down like that.
Yeah.
So when you're down, when you go to fly, it comes all the way up like this, and then it's almost never in travel mode unless you need to be in travel mode.
Yeah.
Travel mode's a real pain in the ass too. You have to take the camera off, you have to do all this stuff.
Ooh.
So if it's in landing mode and you have a landing mode case, you can leave the camera on. I mean, I always check the camera connection, but you can leave the camera on and all that stuff, and it's nice. So it's a really good case. That being said, it's freaking enormous, and it's really hard to take places.
Oh my God, that's why everyone I know on YouTube who has reviewed those says, well, I'm now getting the new Mavic Air.
Yeah, the Mavic is honestly just as stable. I like the Inspire because it was heavy, and from an aviation standpoint, it should be able to take more wind. But honestly, the Mavic and the electronics and then the battery life that they've got in these things, because it's lighter, it can last longer.
Yeah.
And it can take a little bit of that longevity in the battery and really throw it towards the stabilizing electronics for the GPS antenna. So this thing, the Mavic, even though it weighs virtually nothing, can still stay rock steady in a heavy wind.
And it folds down to like slightly larger than than a big cell phone.
You could put it in a pocket of your jacket there.
Yeah.
And just walk around with it with the props attached.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. So the Inspire Pro 1 that I have was about $5,000 brand new with the extra battery and the extra radio. It's got 2 radios, 2 batteries, that full case. I'd probably even throw the iPad in with it. I've got an iPad mini in there with it.
Neat.
Plus the sun visors, but and Ryan Scott says it's an Inspire Pro. I just got the Mavic Pro and absolutely love it. Exactly, Ryan. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I want to. The Inspire Pro is great and it's impressive, but honestly, the Mavic is just as good.
Yeah.
And it's even got, because DJI is a bunch of jackasses. They're worse than Apple with the way they lock stuff down. They don't upgrade anything.
They don't?
From a software standpoint, the Inspire Pro could do all the stuff that the Mavic does. Could do all of it. But they don't upgrade the software to allow you to do that. They upgrade it to a point, now you got to go buy the Inspire 2. And the Inspire 2, optioned up the same way the Inspire Pro 1 that I have is almost $6,000. So you can't even do it.
Oh my God, it makes me think of a friend here in town who was not at the conference yesterday who uses, what drones does he use?
Well, he was using the 3DR drones, the 3D robotics drones, I believe,
Ooh.
because those were kind of open source. They weren't open source, but they were more open. It was like Android.
Yeah.
And you could get in there and do some fun stuff to them. Honestly, though, using like the 80-20 rule, 80% of people are not going to want to do that. You know, they're going to want to use it out of the box and just go, just go with it.
Interesting.
But some people are going to want to get in there and program them. But there's apps that you can hook to these things that just do all that stuff for you. So why would you spend the time really getting into it? Unless you're like a hobbyist and you really want to go. Ryan's saying he took it to Baja in a Pelican case and threw it on the back of a mule to hike it in. Got amazing footage in the Great Mural sites. That's awesome, Ryan. That's really cool.
That is cool.
Yeah. So I actually just realized who you were, Ryan. I didn't realize you changed your last name to Ryan Scott on Facebook. I know who you are now because I know who you went on that trip with. So that's really awesome. I didn't know you had a Mavic. That's pretty sweet. We're going to have to get together and do some flying. Because, Ryan, I have the DJI goggles. And the DJI goggles are designed to work with the Mavic. And, Jenna Sad just joined us. So the Mavic is designed to work with, he said it's his middle name, nice. It's designed to work with the goggles are designed to work with the Mavic. So when you hook the goggles up, you can actually look around and control the camera. Like if the Mavic was sitting steady, you could control the camera like this. You can also go into, I think they call it something like flight simulator mode or something like that.
That sounds cool.
Once you're got forward momentum and you engage it, I've never tried it because it doesn't frickin' work on the DJI Inspire. But you can actually control your aircraft with your head and look up and down to make it fly up and down.
Oh my god, that's so foolproof.
Yeah, so I think that'd be really sweet. So I think, honestly, I want to sell the Inspire Pro. One, I'd probably sell it for about $3,000 because it's still worth that for what you're getting out of it. Yeah. And then I'd probably pick up like one, maybe two Mavics.
Oh my god, I thought you were about to say put a down payment on RPod.
Oh my god, I do want that as well. But, so maybe I'll buy one Mavic and put a down payment on the RPod with the rest of it.
And for people who don't know what that is, that's a super fancy trailer.
I know, they're so nice, and they're honestly not that expensive for what they need, they are.
And they're spelled exactly the way they say.
Yes.
RPod.
The Forest River is the one I want. But they make way smaller ones too that are still really nice. They're for like $6,000. So.
Oh my god.
Anyway, yeah, Ryan's saying that's awesome. I need it. He's referring, I think, to the DJI goggles. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, because we're delayed here a little bit. Anyway, yeah. So.
Interesting. To think you were about to sell your truck.
Nah, I never really was about to sell my truck. I can't get rid of that.
Oh my god, where would you go with your RPod then?
Anywhere, honestly. Just pick it up and head out into the hills. Take my Mavic with me.
Oh my god, you could be one. What's the hashtag? Digital Nomad?
I guess, yeah, probably. So, especially if my wife, her work situation's changing, she might have a lot more time away from her primary job and able to focus on her own stuff. And if she happens to have a weekend where she doesn't have to be like physically in somewhere to work, then we could just take off for the weekend and go.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And then all you need is data connection.
I know. I'd finally have to fix the trailer electronics on my truck too, because I've never hooked a trailer to that hitch, not once. And the stupid Toyota.
Yes, I agree.
Toyota is good in a lot of things. Mm-hmm. However, this is the most insane thing I've ever seen. I bought that truck in, I think, like December of 2014.
Yeah.
And then in, April of 2015, we went to El Centro to do that project. Well, El Centro is where this first happened, and then I bent it back. But the stupid light connector for your trailers is connected with two bolts on an L bracket, and then it comes down, and then it just hangs kind of low on the bumper.
It does. It's actually just below.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the hell? So we're driving through these drainages all the time, and I backed back. I was backing up, turning around, and I backed into like the sand. Totally bent that thing up, and then I went down and I bent it back and almost busted the bracket off. And then it happened again almost immediately, and I just left it. It's been that way for 3 years.
Well, the thing is, when people you basically have to use your imagination since my truck isn't here, but, well, I mean, it is here. It's outside, but
people know what Tacomas are.
Yeah, but my pickup, I had a new rear bumper built for it because that's actually like
pretty nice.
The front bumper, the front clearance, the approach angle is like really good, but the departure angle is really terrible.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I hit that back thing all the time.
So when I had it built, I told them I still want to retain the trailer hitch, and they're like, all right. And what they did, I didn't ask them to do this, but what they did is they built is that the connector is like vertical is now vertical.
Oh, so you bring the lights up like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you just plug it in up, and then and then when you're off-roading, it doesn't catch at all.
Man, yeah. I didn't even bother bending it back because I knew I would ruin it again. So. And
every truck I've ever seen, every Toyota truck I've ever seen that still has their factory hitch is like that.
Yeah.
Ha.
So, well, I think because I've got a lot more work to do tonight, I think we should start wrapping this up. So. Anyway, I almost think we should just do this every Sunday and move it from Wednesdays because the internet's better and we've had a ton of engagement. There's 6 people watching right now.
There are?
Yeah, David Boroski from North Dakota joined in. David, you should be hanging out with your lovely wife and child and not watching me on Facebook. I'm gonna say that right
are you
now.
in Bismarck?
He's in Grand Forks. And,
that's not so bad.
And he has to listen to me because I'm his minister.
Oh, you are?
Yes, I did his wedding. I got licensed in the state of, were they Minnesota, technically? I think it was Minnesota, because it was right on the border of Minnesota and Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So I got licensed in Minnesota and did their wedding, because she was one of my best friends in college. Ooh. And it was in my wedding, and I did their wedding, and that's the only wedding I've ever done.
Yeah, we used to drive through, God, when I was working in Minnesota, we used to drive through Grant, or, when we were on the North Dakota side, we used to drive through Grand Forks all the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you kind of have to go through Grand Forks if you're going to Minnesota from anywhere up in the middle there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's either Grand Forks or Fargo. You're going through one of the two. Because you got to cross a river.
Yeah.
The Red River goes from Canada all the way down.
Yeah,
so,
wait
or it
a
flows
second.
north, actually.
Didn't you go to school there?
I went to school in Grand Forks. I was there for 5 years. That's why I knew him.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, that's that town.
That's that town.
Oh, my God. Makes me think of Rambus Guy's Pizza. Probably wasn't there when you were there.
I don't remember. Also, my very first archaeology project that I got paid for ever was in East Grand Forks.
Ooh.
Right on the river.
And I remember there was an REI there.
An REI?
Yeah.
In Grand Forks?
Yeah. That's where I got my phone.
You sure you're not thinking of like Shields or something?
Nope. It's like almost right by the bridge.
Wow, I do not remember an REI being there.
It might be like might be just like might have been there after you got there.
Yeah, because I left there in 2005.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was there in 2013.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Grand Forks is an REI. That is ridiculous. Not exactly an outdoor town.
And a decent sushi place. They might have more now.
I'm pretty sure there was 0 sushi there in 2005.
Yeah.
Of course, I didn't really eat sushi in 2005. I actually didn't have sushi for the first time until 2006. I remember the date almost exactly. Because it was downtown Miami, my second project ever.
Ooh.
Yeah, and some of the people there, they ate sushi, and we were right on a city block downtown, second and second, and or first and first actually.
Yeah.
And just right down the street from there, we had long lunches all the time. There was like a sushi. I don't even know if they had inside dining, but we would go to like this outside counter right on the street and just order and take it back.
Ooh.
And it was good. I of course started with the California roll because I was like, I don't want any of that crap, and now I love sushi.
See?
I know.
Oh my God!
So.
Grand Forks is also the largest town I've ever seen that doesn't have a bookstore.
Yeah, they had a Barnes & Noble when I was there. I remember that. Well, the university bookstore was a Barnes & Noble. It was taken over. That was kind of a huge controversy.
Yeah. And every time obviously I was there for work, so... And, their hours were such that it was convenient for students, but for people who are working there in a day, you couldn't get to it.
Yeah. We're going to give a thanks to Trevor Trutman, who just shared this. I do appreciate when people share the link to this because it gets more exposure out there.
True.
So that's pretty great. And if you joined us late, this is obviously recorded by Facebook. So if you wait a few minutes and let Facebook process the video, then you can go back in and watch it in whatever quality this recorded at. And eventually they're up on Richie's YouTube channel.
Oh, they will be.
Yeah.
Happy Archaeology Fun Time.
There you go. It's up on the screen there on the left side.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah. So, and it's also, you can find the links to his YouTube channel, the videos, the embedded videos, which it doesn't matter if you watch them on his YouTube channel or you watch them on the APN at this address here, because Richie gets a credit for both of them.
Yeah.
So, but if you happen to watch them on the APN page, we both get credit.
Oh, we do?
The APN gets a page hit.
Oh.
And then you get a view, which is great.
Yeah.
So it's a win-win all around.
True. Except for the fact that YouTube doesn't pay anything anymore.
Well, if 100,000 of you go watch the video, then YouTube might give you a dollar or two.
I know. And that's not a joke, by the way. I mean, it's a joke, but I mean, I wish it weren't a joke.
I mean, come on. If you had, you've got something like 50 videos up there or more.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 30 some of these. You've only got, I think, about 20 of them up there.
Yeah.
But once you have them all up there, and then you get some other stuff. Oh, Ann Kuhn joined.
Ooh.
How's it going, Ann?
Hey,
if you get more stuff up there, this is how people actually do make money on YouTube. It's the number of videos they have up. You look at these people that have 200,000-300,000 subscribers and they have 1,000 videos up, and each one of their videos has 20, 30, 40,000 hits.
Oh, like Mr. Soup.
Yeah, so, even if you're only making, $2 a month on a video, but you've got 1,000 of them that you're making $2 a month on.
Oh my God, we should do a collab video when you get your new Mavic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, where are you flying it around this park? The park right next to us.
Well, we can Facebook Live from the Mavic. We just have to hook the audio up separately.
Ooh, I know, but it'd be like your review. Okay.
Yeah, totally.
And more importantly, we need to borrow someone's dog so we can go chase it around.
I know, right? It shouldn't be hard because there's dogs there every single hour of the day.
I'm amazed that they're as neat at picking up stuff as they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It keeps it nice and neat.
Yeah, well, because it's a kids park. It's like attached to a school.
Indeed.
And I imagine the school would put up a big fuss if pet owners were kind of messy.
Right.
I mean, I might be wrong.
I don't know. Hey, I'm noticing you've got buy some merch on here. I'll make a quick plug for that. If you go to the archaeological.com website and you scroll just a little bit, you'll get on our newsletter. If you enter your email address into the box that'll pop up.
Yeah.
And then we have a discount code. There's one going out tomorrow. I think it's for 30%. So if you join in, if you do that, you automatically get added to the newsletter. And if you do that before it goes out for the week, you'll get a code. Now that code is only good for the stuff on our local store, which means like the coffee mugs. We've now got these refrigerator magnets. We've got some stickers. That's pretty much it. Yeah. All the rest of our stuff is on the TeePublic store. And I will tell you, if you're listening to this now, today on Sunday, March 25th, at midnight Pacific time, I think.
I saw that.
Don't quote me that. Yeah, there's a link actually on the APN Facebook page right now. TeePublic has 30% off everything. In fact, I took advantage of my own sale and went and bought a cell phone case for my...
Oh, God. You mean that's... Oh, I thought that was just for APN stuff.
No, it's for the whole store. All of TeePublic has a sale for 30% off.
Oh my God, because there's actually something I want to buy, and I'm going to buy it tonight.
Yeah, so every store on TeePublic, and there's a lot of podcast stuff there, there's some comic book stuff there, there's some really cool stuff there. Not just the APN store. The link will take you to the APN store. Look at our stuff first.
Yeah.
Then add some of our stuff to your cart. And then go look at the rest of TeePublic. It's all 30% off. I got an iPhone 10 case that's protective, not the slim one, so I have no idea what that means. I'll give a review on it for Archaeotech Podcast probably next week. Or the week after. Yeah. And and Ann is waving.
Yay. Oh, how do you wave?
She wrote waving.
Oh, good.
Yeah. She went old school on it. Anyway, I don't know what protective means for cases.
Yeah.
But I bought that, and I think it cost me, I think it was normally $30, and it cost me like $23 or $24, something like that.
Oh my God, because there's a hoodie I've been looking at.
Nice. Nice.
Oh my God. And their hoodies are ridiculously cheap. They're actually some of the cheaper hoodies, but I have not bought hoodies from them yet. And I know that this hoodie, the reason I wear it so much is because it's warm.
Yeah.
And I'm worried they might sell like the lightweight ones, which are not so warm.
Well, they have different styles. I have a lightweight one, but they also have the thicker ones, which you probably saw it at the booth in San Diego. We had the thicker ones down there.
Ooh.
It wasn't like crazy thick or anything. It's not a Carhartt hoodie, but it is pretty thick and warm. So I think the ones we have are probably too big for you. I think they're like an XL or something like that. And so otherwise I'd give you one of those.
Yeah.
But anyway, they have tons of sizes. So we can end this commercial now. So as people probably start to drop off. So anyway, thanks everybody for joining us. And like I said, maybe we'll keep the Sundays. I don't know. I kind of like it because we can keep the door open.
Yeah.
It's nice. Nobody's here.
Oh my God! You know what I should have thought of Saturday night when I saw you and when I saw both of you there, you and Rachel.
Yeah.
I should have taken a photo of you two in all your APN gear.
It was Friday night. Rachel was so embarrassed. I made Rachel go out to the Friday evening social for the NAA meetings. We were both wearing APN shirts. Come on, my wife has to support me. She's like, would you wear an Unraveled Design shirt if we went to a knitting thing? I was like, absolutely, I would.
Would you?
She doesn't have any merch. Of course, if I'm there for her conference and she's actually selling stuff and promoting it, hell yeah, I'd wear her stuff.
Well, the thing is, what I think, you should have had other designs.
Well, I didn't have any with me.
I know, but that's what
I know, obviously.
That would look less geeky. Especially since there's so many people she knows there.
I don't care what she looked like. It was great. It's fantastic. I'm just a little disappointed you didn't have your shirt on. I'm still a little upset about that, Richard.
Oh my god, you know what I learned Friday night? I learned I'm surprisingly good at bocce ball.
Nice.
And you know what my secret was? Not to look. I'm not even joking. Like,
blindly throw it?
Well, because, my hat, it blocks the view, so I'm just like...
Nice. Well, most people are going to be too long or too short, so if you just kind of roll it, you'll be in the middle somewhere.
Yeah. I'm like, oh shit.
Nice.
I'm kind of good at this.
All right, let's finish this show and get on the road. And like I said, we might be doing the next one on Sunday anyway, because I might be out of town the following week as well.
Neat.
So we'll find out. But I know I'll be here on Sunday.
Cool.
So maybe we'll do it again on Sunday. Who knows?
Interesting. Does your metric measure with this one? Because this one says 3 people are watching.
It was 6 a second ago. It does say 3 now. I think that is accurate. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Oh.
All right.
Yeah. See ya.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Bye.